Hey everyone.
Hi, welcome to Sid and Lola's podcast.
Episode 12.
Episode 12. I'm Jess.
And I'm Chloe. And I'll be asking Jess some questions on raw feeding.
Yes.
Here we go. First question. Can I feed raw food straight from the supermarket?
Okay, so raw feeding from the supermarket. In theory, yes, you can, but it needs to have been through a freezing process first. So if you walk into a supermarket and you buy some chicken breasts off of the shelf, I would advise not to feed them straight to your dog as they are. So chicken, for example, has a lot of bacteria and nasties in it, hence the reason we cook it before we eat it.
It's salmonella, isn't it?
Salmonella, Campylobacter, all that sort of thing. But if you freeze it, then freeze it for about a week to 2 weeks beforehand, then you can defrost and feed it.
So without having to cook it? Just straight?
Without having to cook it for the dog, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's the same as what's in the freezers here.
Oh, of course. Of course.
That's raw dog.
I knew that. Question number 2. Can I feed human mincemeat?
So mince, again, is similar to chicken in the sense that I would freeze it first. Beef doesn't hold quite the same nasties as chicken can. And that's why humans can eat it almost blue, they call it, where it's basically just been touched on the frying pan and then eat. I think you can eat raw beef as well. But I wouldn't feed it straight off the shelf. I would always freeze first just to be safe. The freezing process kills bacteria and parasites. And then you can, once it's been frozen for about a week, 2 weeks, defrost, and then you can feed. Yeah. So the other thing to be mindful of with both chicken and beef or turkey mince or pork mince or anything else that you buy human grade from the supermarket is that you have to remember these are not classed as complete foods. So chicken breast has no bone and no offal. Mincemeat has no bone and no offal, and the same with all the other minces, turkey mince, pork mince, etc. They are just mince meat. So yes, you can add them to a DIY meal for the dogs, something you'll make up yourself, but you have to be mindful that you can't just feed it on its own. It's not complete enough.
I see. So add bone broth and bits like that.
You would need to add offal. You would need to add offal, bone content. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but next question. Should I add veg to my dog's food?
Yeah, we've talked about this previously. It's a big subject, fruits and vegetables in dogs' diet. There is no real yes or no answer to that. If your dog tolerates fruits and vegetables, make sure you research the ones you can and can't feed. But then yes, feed fruits and vegetables. If your dog doesn't, like my dog Piper, who I find it makes an itch if I feed sugary veg, then don't feed it. So it's not that they have to have it; they can survive without it. Unlike meat, bone and offal, they do need that to survive. So really, yes, you can add it in. I think leafy veg is really nice. It mimics what they'd find in the prey, in the stomach of the prey they might eat. And then you can also add in some other lovely vegetables that we've got and fruits that we've got available to us. They all have health benefits. Just be mindful that some veg is quite high in sugar.
I'm sure that was episode 7, yeasty ears, I think.
It might have been, yeah. We have talked
yeasty
about
years, as I used to say.
Yeasty years.
Next question is, can I feed eggs to my dog?
Eggs, so raw eggs. I get asked this a lot. Yes, you can feed raw eggs. They're full of goodness, protein, and the shell. You can also feed the shell. So, but there's lots of ways there's lots of different eggs out there. So, for example, don't feed eggs to a dog that's got chicken intolerance because it might still cause issues.
It'll go through the chicken egg, I guess.
It just might trigger the issues that they have. I hear this quite a lot, and sometimes people say, "Oh, I don't feed chicken, but I do add eggs." So, well, that is chicken.
Kind of chicken.
Kind of chicken. It might not have a reaction, or it might give the same reaction that chicken meat might give, especially if they've had leaky gut and the immune system sees it as a baddie. So just be mindful of that when you're feeding it. But there are duck eggs, quail eggs, which are really nice to add in. So yes, you can feed raw eggs to your dogs.
Quite mad to think they can just slurp up a raw yolk.
Oh, Piper loves it. Every time he hears the egg box open. Oh, pause.
Pausing. Right, so final question.
Okay.
Why bother with raw when I can just give him kibble?
Yeah, so this is the battle we constantly have, isn't it?
It most certainly is.
Real food versus ultra processed food. This is what it always comes down to. You know, kibble is convenient, it lives in a bag, anybody in the family can feed it. It doesn't need any preparation. You can take it away with you. It's normally quite cheap to feed, depending on which brand you go for. But the trouble is just that you wouldn't feed your family ultra processed food every day. We know it's bad. We know it causes disease and we know it causes cancer. So why would you feed it every single day? So fresh, real food will never ever compare with ultra processed food.
Yeah, a little short episode for you guys this week. Thanks for listening. Bye.